Ask tricky questions that have double meaning.
We don't ask questions.
Oh, it's all up to us.
Welcome to What's New. Tonight we have some special guests here, and we are going to let ours take over. We have Martha Riesinger, ours Vincent, and Marianne Roth, and ours is going to take over and introduce our program.
Okay, tonight we have two special guests. Patrick, and he is going to talk about the new antique mall. And then Christine has a really neat shop, and she's moving, so she's probably going to tell you about that. So when you want to start talking, start. Don't
Go ahead,
matter who
Patrick.
goes first.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here and to be talking about the Antique Mall, which opened August 1st. So we're open just a month now. And we've been kind of really impressed with the great response, the number of people coming through, the feedback we're getting on the quality of the booths and the type of items that are there. As you know, we reclaimed this building from 1903 that sat there in Front Street. Was the center for a number of different kind of industries that were there, starting with a washing machine factory and then a boiler factory, and then there was toy manufacturing, a number of things, but really unused the last 10 years or so.
Yes.
And it's almost 50,000 square feet. So we bought it last August, really not knowing what we were going to do with it. In fact, it was a little hard for me to come home and have to explain why I just bought a 50,000 square foot warehouse with no real plan of what we're going to do. But half of it, 25,000 square feet, we are renting spaces for RVs and boats and all that's filled up. And then I had this other 25,000 square feet that I didn't know what to do until October 24th, 2021. What happened, Iris, on October 24th? The tornado went through St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, that's
I was
right.
thinking something, I don't know what I was thinking.
And so the
Yes.
tornado, which, started over in Fredericktown and kind of hopscotched across the county, just destroying cornfields and soybeans, did nothing until it got to St. Mary, went right down the middle of the antique mall, one of Missouri's largest with almost 400 booths. And the poor people just lost everything. The roof collapsed, the walls went down, rained for days afterwards. I couldn't get anything. And so suddenly, we were short one very large antique mall. We had, Susan and I, this empty space. And we started, kind of the light bulb went on in November, got the plans in December, started work on January. Dean Bader's been our general contractor, and Gretchen Roth has been the main enforcer down there and making sure everybody does what they're supposed to, including me. And we started in January, and 7 months, and that was with supply chain, COVID, all of the different issues. We used all local craftsmen for the electrical. Ron Gettinger was on the electrical, and Carando was on the heating, electricity. Shu did our plumbing. So all of them, and we opened up right on time. Now, how many people do you think came through there in the month of August? Brand new, no history of being there before, owned by people who didn't know anything about antiques. How many people went through in the month of August?
The
Assuming
whole month.
there's only about 4,000 people in this town, how many people went through?
I'd say about 10.
8,000.
Oh, I was just gonna say 10.
You're kidding.
8,000 people went through there. No, we had Jour de Fête, that was a big,
Well, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
Jour de Fête
big-
helped.
Big
that-
weekend for us.
That was there,
gosh.
that's the only reason.
Jour de
I
Fête
thought
was a
that.
big draw where people
That was
wanted to use the
wonderful.
restroom.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're happy with that. And then this is phase one. We have 3 phases. In December, we're working now on the phase 2. We're hoping to open in December with another 6,000 square feet, 40 more booths. We have 70 booths in the phase 1, 40 booths additional in phase 2. We're also going to open a coffee and wine bar in the place, which I think will be nice, so that if you don't want to antique shop all day, you can sit and have a cup of coffee and a pastry or whatever. And also, will be an attraction is to just come and have a cup of coffee and watch people come by. There's
If you like the people
a
watch.
lot of traffic, people watch, like on the boardwalk or something. So, yeah, I think that's gonna be a nice addition. And then if we fill up, then we have another addition of the 100 booths that we would do. So we'd be up over 200 booths. And once you get to that size, then people will come to see it. It's not a mom and pop
Right.
operation and all. We're also emphasizing more than just antiques. We're doing artwork. And we have a number of the local artists have booths and are displaying some of their stuff. One of them is sitting right here with some of her art as well. So more than just antiques, we're kind of going art and antiques, so it'll be a little more interesting. We do the fourth Friday art walk down there as well. Mark Evans is going to come for a book signing this month down there, so we want to make it a little more than just booths and antiques. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
Now, I might comment on, it is very, very nice in there.
So thank you.
Does
Yep.
not look like the building on
Like-
the outside.
Right.
It's
No.
very nice.
Well,
yes.
it's funny because when I went down there, I went like on the side where Audubon's was, so I went down that way and thinking, I thought they
Fix it up a little
I
bit.
thought they did something. And my granddaughter said, well, me and Mom came and we went the other way. I said, oh, okay, so we'll just go on down. Well, boy, let me tell you, there was a difference.
Wow.
And it was awesome. I have to tell you, Dean Bader is my nephew.
Oh,
Yes, he is. I love
Well,
him very much.
I think everybody in this town
He's a
is
good-
related to
Yeah.
somebody else. Yeah.
You know what? I don't have very many
Very
relations, but
Yeah.
Dean is.
He has been absolutely the best. Just really, really been wonderful. Yeah, we had Joy French did the painting on the building, and I told her she's running out of walls in town to paint.
Oh, yes.
She's got the one on
So
City Hall
neat.
here, and
Yes.
she's beautiful. She did the Bolduc House for us, and she did some painting on the inside.
That Bolduc house looks so neat when you're driving from the opposite way where you can see it flat on.
see it.
It's, the lighting and everything is just great.
Yes, and
on
we
it.
did a lot of night lighting too, so that displays at night as well. I think that whole area, that Front Street was kind of a sleepy backwater, nobody
sure.
went over there.
Right.
And now it's really park-like, the way it's set up
Right.
Yes, it
down
is.
there, and, yeah, needs a little road repair, but
Right.
we're gonna get that taken
Yeah.
care of.
But just to think of what it used to look like in the last, maybe 5 years. How long has Hoffman's house been fixed? Has
Oh,
it been
gosh, probably
very long?
6 or 7 years, I would imagine, something like
He's
that.
fixed that up nicely,
Oh,
that
my
backyard is like a park,
It
It
is.
is.
nicely,
It's beautiful down there.
nicely done, yeah.
Yes.
I've got a picture of it when it was a junkyard.
Oh, yeah.
I
Quite a
painted
collection.
a
I think
picture of all the
everybody
junk
does,
cars.
yeah.
I have seen that painting of, it was almost artistic, it was like so unusual, all those cars in their final graveyard back there. Yeah,
Louise Marler did a lot of photography, and
really.
she's in California and in St. Louis. And she also belongs to our art guild,
Mhm.
but she did the photography of it. So she's got a lot of neat pictures.
So have you seen our insignia, Iris? Have you seen that with the fleur-de-lis and the 2 shamrocks?
Yes.
What do the shamrocks represent?
Don't ask hard
He
questions.
always gives these quizzes.
That's Susan and me. Susan's from Dublin. She
Oh,
gets one
okay.
shamrock, and my last name's Fahey. My grandparents were from the old Sod, and so we've got the little French St. Genevieve combined with a couple of little Irish people.
Well, how
Yeah.
about that? Well, I'm glad you told us. Now we
I
know.
wanted that. Clearly.
Well, you know, another thing, a lot of people like to go looking antiquing, and with all the other ones, well, with just what you have now. But if you have that coffee bar or that whatever, or the drink, can you imagine the people like, say with my husband, I don't know, we went down to the one in St. Mary's, but, you know, some people, it's not my thing, or I can't walk.
Right, I can't walk.
Now, I could be
I
down
have
there
to be
all
on my
day.
feet the whole
Right.
time doing all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
They could sit there and do that, and Oh, that's a neat.
Yeah.
And so is that in your second phase?
Second phase, that'll be open December,
Oh,
so we're working on it already, so just a few months.
oh my gosh.
40 more booths and the, yeah, coffee and wine bar.
That is
A lot of
awesome.
money in coffee, you know.
Oh,
There is.
There is.
Charge $4 for a little 12-ounce cup.
It's more than the
Costs
wine.
you-
Charge 2 and you'll sell more.
Yeah. You could have just the regular and then you could have the specialties or whatever.
We're gonna have
See, I'm
the
to the
specialty
point now, I'm past the it's past the special. I'm past the regular coffee. It's gotta be
Oh, you're Miss Latte now, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Or- all right.
latte or.
Getting fancy.
or,
Remember, you're in St. Genevieve here. We start doing lattes,
Stepping out that bar.
espressos.
Lattes, espresso. I had one this morning that,
Nice.
you know, sometimes when you're just
Yeah.
kind of, you need that push, pick me up, that was good.
Yeah.
But that's so exciting to hear.
We're thinking about actually trying to use a local coffee roaster's coffee in the place. So we're trying to have local beer and then a local coffee. Tyler over at the rehab
Tyler,
center.
oh my gosh.
He's a coffee roaster.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
And
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, I took
Yeah,
therapy
tune in the
from
show
him.
more often. You'd probably
Yeah.
learn
Well,
more.
if you have
That'd be
therapy, then you, and I
Then you
just
learn
went to
that, yeah.
therapy, and we were just talking, and he said, you want a cup of coffee? Why I was having the cool thing on, and, I said, coffee? You have coffee? And I said, sure, I'll take a cup of coffee. And he brought it over, and I thought, because I didn't want the cream, I said, oh my gosh, this is really good. And it
Well,
was just the regular coffee.
to a
It was
barista
good.
like you. to
Oh,
have
no,
you
not
like
that
the
I'm a
coffee.
barista, but it was, I'm gonna be private. He's gonna, now if he's watching, he's gonna say, Martha, tell him what it is, I can't remember. Ethiopian?
I think it is.
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of that guy. But I'm telling you.
Yeah, I
it
hope
was-
that we can
Yes.
work that out. Yeah. So we have a lot of nice coffee bars in town.
We do,
Options now that,
absolutely.
Right.
Common Grounds,
Grounds.
really, boy, is that
Oh,
a
that
beautiful
place is
place.
hopping, yes.
And nice to see them really do.
Yes.
And
I'm
then
so
those-
happy, yeah.
Young women have taken over, what do they call it? Rooted.
Beatnik,
Rooted
and
Oh, rooted
coffee.
coffee,
Yeah.
That's
yes.
down by us on North Main Street. They've got a lot of energy and have kind of done that place, so
Right.
a lot of places
That was
get good
neat,
coffee.
yes.
Yeah.
I haven't been in that one yet.
No,
Did
I
you
haven't.
go?
No, not yet. I haven't, just haven't had a chance to, but I'm planning on getting there.
That's good.
Well, last year, my daughter came from Kansas, and they spent a week with us, and I said, guys, want to be tourists today? And that's what we did. We started at
fun.
Stella Me's and walked
Oh, yeah.
all the way up, walked all the way through town, and had a little bit, and went in, and they had been into the honey store. That was awesome, you know,
Yes.
get that honey. Then we were in the oh my gosh, that hot spice, oh, I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
QRS.
Rolling on
No,
the-
Oh,
no,
rolling on the
rolling,
river.
yes.
Rolling on the river.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
On the river.
Oh, yes, yes. And my son-in-law, wanted me to bring him some stuff when we went out this summer, or this past summer. And I said, well, send me a picture of it. So we did. And I forgot. So I went down there and it was like, maybe, they had just closed.
Hmm.
Because the girl at Cyril's told me, Martha, you missed them, they just closed. And I said, oh no, we're leaving in the morning. So we didn't get it this time, but, you know, and then that QRST, he was on our show that tells us with the teas and the spices.
High-end teas like
Yes.
that, very nice, yeah.
Yes. So, you know, it's really, you know, I've lived here all my life, and you guys probably did too, but
Very
I'm
much.
telling you, just from the time that I was here, the things that have changed so much.
Yes.
We've never had anything like this before,
Hmm.
you know? So just wish we could get another kind of, I don't know, I hear everybody just saying they wish they could get like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And we have one of those. But I said, usually when we go out, we usually try to have a nice meal, so.
Yeah.
We got enough restaurants.
But we
in
do, you
town.
know what?
Really
The
nice.
Old Brick is amazing. They have they're amazing. Their Friday night fish is absolutely amazing. And then, and the Anvil is great. Audubon's is
Audubon's the
real.
standard for us, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, yeah.
Look at the masterpieces.
Cafe Genevieve.
Cafe,
Can't
oh,
forget
yeah.
them.
That's up for
Yeah,
sale, I
and
think.
that's, yes, and hopefully,
We don't have a bad restaurant.
no, I don't think so.
No, I don't see
No,
it.
we
I don't think we have one.
Yeah. So, and there's not anything you can't get, so you can
That's
go
for
in there and
sure.
say, and the onion rings at all three places. Well, especially Cyril's and the old brick, I mean, the Amber.
Amber, yeah.
Those are to die for. No, I don't want to say that word, but, yeah, they're good.
So, you opened that just after the tornado, that's when the idea hit you to do that?
Yeah, I wish I could say I knew immediately on October 25th that I needed to get in the antique business. It never occurred to me until people started coming who said, listen, I used to have a booth over in St. Mary's. I don't have any place to put my stuff. Could I just store it here? So they started storing it, and then they looked around and said, hey, this would not be a bad place for an antique
Oh, how
mall.
cool.
So now I've taken full credit for coming up with the idea and masterminding it. But, and what you said, Iris, as well, most antique malls, including St. Mary's, with some old building with small windows and a lot of booths are piled up on each other, kind of a musty smell in the place. They're a little dark, and there's extension cords all over. And so what we've done, we've got big
High
natural
class,
windows, a lot of natural light. We did LED lighting in the top. We kept the booths white pegboards, so, and we kept the booth sides low so that you can see all the way. Sometimes they get high and then you're in like a canyon and don't see it. So we have a nice visual
It is.
spacing. And I
Really
think
nice.
people buy more if they come in, and we kept the aisles are wider than usual, that you're not crowded or having to turn to go down an aisle, or you come to a booth and it's just filled with stuff and you can't look at it. We have a much more open, easy access, see everything with it. And the 8,000 people did a lot of business. I mean, our vendors, a number of them said it was the best month they'd ever had anywhere out of a booth.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
great, yeah.
And we've gotten great reviews. I have, first thing, my employees, I tell them how to write a review. So they sit and write reviews all day and put them in for our,
Oh, my gosh. So,
Gotta
what-
promote
so when
yourself.
you, so, okay, the tornado was over and everything. Had you bought that building before then?
yeah, August.
Okay, so you bought it, oh, that's right, you just said that, August and then
August
this
and the thing in
happened in
October. so,
October.
kinda
Okay,
Right place, right time.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But that storage space was good, because there were always people looking for
Oh my
storage
gosh,
places.
Oh, for their
For
RVs and
boats and
campers,
RVs,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
It filled up right away, and that's pretty nice. They pull in, you never see them again, and that's
Right.
easy as opposed to the rest of the
Right.
stuff you're working
Right.
at and
Right.
doing it all.
Yeah, that was a very neat thing, too.
No, I didn't know
And
that.
I
part.
didn't know you had done that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That is, and is that on the back end?
That's in your end. where
Oh,
you
on
live.
my end.
That big white
The
door.
big, oh, okay,
Yeah,
where the big,
right.
oh, yes, the big white door is, yes,
That's how you
okay.
get Those big
Okay,
ones come in
that
there,
is-
and the antique mall's way in the back.
Right.
But coming that way, we're
Yeah.
gonna, phase 3 will be moving down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yep.
Now, you're opened every day?
So we made a decision to open 7 days a week, so nobody ever had, well, are they, so we're open 10 to 5, 7 days a week.
Oh, okay,
And we haven't had enough of a trend, though. If there is some trend, it is, Mondays are a pretty slow day in town.
Right.
But I think we're gonna stay open all 7. You know, a lot of people come down there attracted, it's free,
right,
and it's memory lane to walk down with somebody, an old friend, and say, oh, remember when we had that, or we had
Right.
one of those in our
Right.
house, and so lots of ideas. I had somebody came up and said the St. Mary Mall was more than just an antique mall. It was part of the therapy her husband was getting chemotherapy, and was just a little weak and tired and couldn't go for a long walk. But he was interested. He would go down there and just walk down the aisles, just kind of interested in things, stimulated by something, and
Right.
sit for a little bit and then walk up and down. She thought it helped him get through his chemo, because he could go outside and walk around a
Just
little
walk.
bit and by himself and look
So,
at
and it would even take
interesting.
your mind off of it if you're looking
You
at
can take
that
your eyes
stuff.
off it, yeah.
That is really good, that's neat.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do all of that.
I love that, I
Yes,
love that
it's
idea.
very, very nice.
10 to 5. That's good, and you never know, maybe Mondays will pick up. I think from now until Christmas, the whole week's gonna,
I think so too.
What is that? Is that my phone?
well, I thought it was me, but I'm not moving.
My phone's not doing nothing, I don't know. Some kind of weird noise up
Yes.
here.
I think it's your shoe on the table.
That could be. Oh, it's
Mine?
There it is.
There we go. All right.
I'm electrified.
That she is, but
And you know, Martha, who my wife is
I'm not sure.
on live television. You're gonna say you don't know who my wife is?
For shame,
I
for
know I'm
shame.
gonna say it.
And she's half of all of this. Dr. O'Donnell.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yes, so she's
Yes.
been a big part of it. She's busy doing lots of
Right.
things all during the day, but has
Right.
been there for a lot of the design and giving
Sorry,
me.
Susan.
Yeah,
I'm
Dr.
gonna say
O.
Susan right now.
Yeah.
Dr. O, you're right, Dr. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's been a long day, no. To put it that way.
Excuses.
Excuse me, please. Oh, my gosh. You know what, and I remember that now, that all took place, that you guys bought that building. And did you buy it from Sonny?
I did.
Okay, because he come in one day and we were talking and he said, well, I finally sold my building. And I said, you know, Sonny. And I said, really? And I said, I wanted to say, okay, we bought it, you know, like that. And then he said that, I think they're gonna do something with it and make it nice down there. And I said, well, Sonny, I said, it's a big building. It would be good for something, if somebody come up with an idea.
And I really credit him for saving the building. He bought that
Yes.
a long time ago when nobody was interested in it. He put a new roof on it, which really saved it. He was very handy, worked hard. He was at that building every day doing it. So he did a real favor in really saving
saved
it
it.
just so that it was able
Right.
to.
He would tell me all the time that he was down there working, and I remember when they got the roof, and he was saying how he was doing this and how he was doing that, and I said, Sonny, what are you gonna do with it? Oh, I don't know, one day I'll sell it, I guess. And, you know, he wasn't in any hurry, and that's
No.
been a few years ago, but
Yeah,
that's exciting, though, to know that
yeah, it was.
that's,
Yeah, he saved the building so it could be put to another use. And
Yes.
we're going to have, along one of the walls, a timeline of the building with pictures on each of
my
the stages
gosh.
of the different ones we've collected. Those pictures of the 1903 and
Oh, my
the
gosh.
boiler factory and the different, I want to get a picture of Sonny.
yeah.
If you're watching Sonny,
Yes, Sonny.
we'll take a picture and put him up, because he was an important owner right
Yeah.
up until the
Yeah,
end.
he was.
Then in the end, there's going to be a big shrine to the current owners.
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Not-
No, I could see that big shrine lit up at night.
Just
Up
laugh.
in the window,
We don't
there
have
it
to, we don't have to
is.
worry about it being dark down there anymore, it's gonna be lit up. You know what's neat, I remember, well, I love Christmas shows, so, you know, every show, they're downtowns, they have Christmas trees and snow on the, you know, it's pretty much every show. But I always said, and I went to Dina one time, and I said, Dina, I said, who can I talk to? Can't we get some kind of stuff going in our town? Because we went to St. Charles, and it was pretty neat
Oh,
up there.
yeah.
And I said, can't we do that? Can't we just, you know, just get everybody, nothing extravagant, it doesn't have to be like that, just
Right.
put lights up if nothing else. So, I don't think it happened right away, but then, well, then when they took those lights down, yeah, or those
was
things.
terrible.
It was.
I
That
mean,
was, that was.
The wreaths
so
hanging
cheesy,
off of the
yes.
light poles, and I don't understand about Citizens
Yeah.
Electric. and
It
why
was
they-
because of throwing up on them if they needed to,
Oh,
the danger.
Please.
whatever.
That's not adequate to me.
No.
I took a picture, I went to Cape Girardeau last Christmas and took a picture of their downtown all lit up, both sides of, and on the end, the bridge lit up. And it looked so wonderful.
Beautiful, right.
And I took a picture on December 20th, standing at the corner of Main Street and Market and looking north on Main Street. There wasn't one
No.
light
No.
anywhere.
There was
I said Baghdad had more lights out than St. Genevieve. You wouldn't know it was
But it's true.
Christmas.
I know,
And these blow up
the blow-up
frosty
thing.
Oh, those
snowmans.
ugly things.
It looks like it's kindergarten, and that's our official Christmas decoration. We've got to
Yeah.
do much
I
better.
don't
Got
like
to
blow-ups.
do- I even told
I think the
you-
blow-ups look neat up at Grimminer's
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's
yeah.
because
because
of where he's
the
got
lake,
it.
the lake, I mean,
Yeah,
the
he's
lake,
got
pond.
the three
the
dimensional
pond there, and
pond
it's
all of
so,
it, yeah.
Yes.
they're so
That-
spread out,
that's
but
neat, but
that's
should
a big
not be
attraction.
Our theme should not be
No.
those.
Not in,
We need some-
not in downtown.
because I even went to Dina, I said, Dina, who can I talk to? I don't know what I could do to help. I'd put up lights, of course, I'm not getting up on the ladders anymore, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I said, there's gotta be somebody that's interested in that. I mean, I know there's gotta be.
Yes, well, I've been working, the Main Street merchants are a
Okay.
little concerned about that, and, you know, Annette Rolfe is
Yes,
certainly done.
Annette.
And she, we're trying to talk to Gary Roth about coming up with some way to use the lighting that doesn't interfere with, it doesn't have to be a wreath or have separate electrical. We're
Right.
trying to get some color down there.
Yeah,
Now,
that would be awesome. You know? it
Yeah,
just-
both ways you come into town. It's just
You wouldn't know,
dead.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wouldn't
it's pretty,
even
you
know.
know, Lawrence Myers does a great job with the European entitlements, right?
Yes,
He
he
does
does.
those trees,
Yes.
title
Yes.
minded. He does, 2,000
Is that how many
lights per
lights are on?
tree.
Oh, really?
So, how do I know that?
Yeah.
Because we did it at the Main Street Inn on bigger
Oh,
trees. And we
okay.
were like, 2,000 lights and we're
My
halfway up the
gosh.
thing. So,
Oh,
we
my
had,
God.
he on one end and then the Main Street Inn on the other.
On the other one. Oh, my
So
God.
the start, kind of a Main Street and down at the end. And speaking at the end of Main Street, do you hear there's new activity down there? One of the big hipsters in town is making a move from one building
That's
to
gotta
another.
be the hipster that's on the other side of you.
That is,
Nice segue.
So now, that was a neat introduction.
It
right?
was, but I still want to piggyback on the Main Street Inn and also the Antique Mall. Patrick, which I tell everybody, he's like the savior of the town, because besides the Main Street Inn just being such a great bed and breakfast, and it's such an anchor, I think, and I get, of course, all of his visitors coming through, I'm the first shop that they
Right.
pass. And I can't tell you, like, that's been a main source of my business, is just the visitors. They're just lovely people that go to the Main Street Inn. And then the Antique Mall, like I've told everybody the story about the tornado, and, you know, people were looking for a place to do their vending and the shops, and he just kind of came in and saved St. Mary's, and saved all the vendors, and I have a spot there too. So, and it's just lovely. It's such a wonderful addition to St. Jen. And to hear the numbers too, I've never seen those numbers. But it's good to know that they're there, and I would recommend getting a booth to anybody, because you don't have to man it, and it's just such a wonderful extension of your business. Or if you don't have the means to have your own shop, it's what a great scenario. And for the artists too, they have things on commission. You know, you don't have to invest in the whole booth. I think you have a couple of commission pieces, booths, I should say. So to me, it's just, wow, just a nice little poof to St. John.
thank you.
Yeah, I can't say enough about that. And anything that can bring
And I think-
tourism to our town.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say, eventually, like when there was a smaller place, Mrs. Bingo. Anyway, there was a smaller place in town. She was really busy. And once Joe Scott opened the one up on Highway 21, it was like, no more.
Oh, really?
So it got closed down, so we just had a few little ones, little bitty shops around town. But that one was really nice. She had several booths in there, but it just lost the business once
Yeah.
that was opened.
And I always have people asking, aren't there any antique stores here? And so now I can say, oh, we have an antique mall
Yeah.
right down, and it's so easy to get to. I mean,
Yes.
it's just
It is,
it's
yep.
now a must-see.
Well, people come and ask me, what's going on at Music, Art, and Love? And I heard there were some changes. Did you hear that, Ira?
I heard a little bit about that. I'm
Iris has
so
been such a
excited
great
for her to do
patron
it.
of Music, Art, Love.
She's got really, really neat things there. Everybody should go down.
Well, thank you. It's been
Yeah.
really fun. It's,
Yeah.
you know, just for the shop end of it, I call it an eclectic gallery and boutique, because you can get anything from clothing to books to musical instruments. But then we also have the events, like the open mic nights, which have been a little bit, I don't know, kind of legendary now, because each time people come there, there's something special that happens. Everybody almost becomes like family. You get the young, you get the older, and everybody just kind of comes together. It's a very welcoming place. You can have, you know, a complimentary glass of wine there with your entry fee. You can have spoken word. We have lawyers doing sonnets. We have people like Millie Nager doing stand-up comedy. We've had Kristen Chivety do dance. I mean, just anything, music. It's just
So if you want to
really
sing or dance,
phenomenal.
go to
You had
Music-
Mozart
Music
from-
Art
I wanna
Love.
go
Well,
watch
yes,
Yeah.
yes, from a 14-year-old girl, she did Mozart and she did Nirvana, so on keyboard.
And, well,
It's just
wonderful.
really amazing talent that we get. And then we have songwriter showcases. We have a writers group now every third Tuesday, which is free. We have a thing called Spiritual Matters, which is once a month, and it varies in different topics and different speakers that come in. The next one is going to be about mental health struggles. Let's see, we have, songwriter showcases, acting classes. We've had the paint and sip classes. It's just, I think it's just a great community feel.
You've had artists display openings of their.
Yes, like Tammy
stand-up.
Dickerson, she's one of our favorites there that travels through, and we've had a lot of her artwork, and Anita Alsup, she's got some artwork there. Iris, we have to get some of your artwork in there
One of these days.
one of these days. But for the Fourth Friday Art Walk, I always have a featured artist, and I have live music. We have live music a lot. You can just come in and play the house instruments that you just come in off the street. And yes, I will be moving to a new location, which is 5 businesses down at 137 North Main instead of 199 North Main.
And there's no steps.
And there's no steps. It's like it's big, which will be really great.
The
Swash.
purple finch?
It used to be the Purple Finch, yes.
Okay, good.
So I bought the building, and so it's something new and exciting for myself
Yes.
to be an owner of a historic building here in St. Genevieve. And even though I'll miss my neighbor at the Main Street Inn, it was always so lovely to look out onto the garden.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully they'll walk up 5 more businesses.
Oh, I
and
think,
on their way to Audubon's or someplace.
I think just what Iris said, the curb appeal of the new place as you get it decorated, and those windows right down to the sidewalk, and you step
absolutely.
right in.
Right.
A little imposing going up those
It's a little hard
steps.
getting up those steps.
Yeah.
It is, and I'm trying to restore it a little bit back to, well, they said it was built, I think, 1910s, but then maybe more open 1930s. It used to be the Missouri Theater.
I was gonna say.
So I think that's kind of exciting
Oh, I
to
didn't
bring
know
it
that.
back.
No.
Yes,
And you said, is that movie theater?
I believe it was a movie theater, but I'm going to pretend it was theater, like live theater.
Live theater?
It could have been anything,
It could have
but
been
the
anything.
arts, you know, we're focusing on the arts.
Yeah.
So to bring back, I'm trying to do the ceiling tiles, make it more into the copper feel, and but of course, Patrick has all the good people like Dean Bader working for him, so I'm trying to get some workers here, but you know, they're all at the antique mall doing
We'll find somebody.
renovation. Yes, we'll find somebody. No, I've had some good people like Ernie Kovac from Shoe, and he's been doing some good work, and just people that have put their
Right.
hands into it. That it's just brand new, trying to get things going here, and hopefully we'll have a nice opening maybe in November.
Oh, my God.
Well, October, I've already scheduled, we're doing a fundraiser for Ataxia. Not a lot of people know about that condition. It's a debilitating condition. We're doing a fundraiser October 23rd. And because there are no steps, I have to have it in that place. So whether I'm ready or not, we will have something there. But yeah, we'll still have the open mics, and we'll just keep tuned on when we're going to make the big transition over there. Doing some reno right now, so.
Awesome. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so you can always look up musicartlove.com or on the Facebook page, Music Art Love, and see the events. We always have something going on, lots of events,
I like that.
besides the store.
So you have these speakers come in quite often?
Yeah, we have speakers, we have just anything that you want to do there. I'm open to having different things. I think we're going to start having yoga classes at the new place. Some dance classes. I'm hoping to do some swing dance classes. It's just a bigger space.
Right.
That instead of rearranging the gallery consistently of, oh, I've got to move the clothes racks to have an event, it'll be nice just to have its own event space. And
It is the most interactive of any of the stores in St. Genevieve.
It
The
is.
number of
Yeah.
things that go on, from painting to music to open mics, amateurs, people performing for the first time in front of a live audience, to, you know, the spiritual series and talking about mental health and all. How often you get, you know, professionals come in and talk
Right.
for free in front of a group. So Chris has put on really a broad spectrum of things that really appeal to all people in St. Genevieve, and the vast majority of them are free. So it's really been a nice cultural addition.
And it's amazing to me, like the professional people that come through too to perform, like Paul Weddle and
Best saxophonist ever.
right, and then Gabe Michael doing jazz piano. We're doing the jazz happy hour again at the end of this month. I mean, it's amazing to me that the performers, they love to play in that intimate space because people are actually listening to them. It's not a big bar.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a bar at all, but you can
Right.
have a complimentary glass of wine
Right.
But
usually.
people aren't sitting, carrying on at
Right.
a table.
Right.
or
They're actually listening to
They're
you play.
Right.
Yes.
And the songwriters, they love it too because people are listening to the original music. It's,
I was in there Friday night, and they had this open mic, and they had a nice big crowd, and one of the more well-known artists in town was sitting there.
Oh.
Yes. Iris, that's right, Iris. was sitting right there, and there she was, yeah.
Yes, I like to go down there. It's a nice
Well,
pastime, a
I
nice
could do that.
evening, and,
Yes.
you know, if, no matter where you go, you're gonna pay $5-6 for a glass of wine, so.
Oh, at least.
You
you
want
might as well
wine
get
or
entertainment
water?
for free.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
in.
but it's been a very, like, every time I've been there, there's been something special that happens, and it's like each one is my favorite time because it's just a different feel.
It's amazing,
The
the
people
town.
that come, it is.
Yeah. I've been
I'm
there.
really surprised. I mean, they come from all places.
So
St.
tell 'em how
Louis,
they just
Eureka.
Come in and you just,
They just come in and we have that young girl, Angelina Parolo. She came in for a singer-songwriter showcase. She's 19. Everybody else was a lot older, and she held her own, and she has amazing songs, like Broadway type songs. And so I booked her for a solo show. She packed the house. She's from Hillsboro, and everybody just came to hear her, and we're going to book her again. And I feel like a little talent scout finding all these people. And
and how they walk in there and just start playing the
yeah,
So
the
they just
instruments and like, oh my gosh, you're
that's how
great.
I found the young girl, the young talent. She came in with her mom and her brothers, and she started playing piano. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And so now she has a place to perform,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
everybody just is, you know, Brianna Moore, she started there. Paul Hogan Miller plays there a lot. Oh, and Paul and I, we have our duo. I
Yeah.
can't forget to talk about the duo. So we will be playing at Oktoberfest, which is the first Oktoberfest this weekend, right? Which Gretchen and Kara, they're both, and Patty, I think they're all part of the Oktoberfest. And so Paul Hogan Miller and I, Chris Alex is my stage name, will be performing at the beer garden outside of Audubon's. Yeah. So from 6 to 9 on Saturday. And then he and I play other places too, so you can always look on my website for that as well.
So what are they doing on the corner there at Audubon's? Is that gonna be?
It's an outside bar.
So we were just there talking with them. They've got the landscaping in there. They've got
I
a
saw
number
they
of
were
evergreens and all, and they've squared it off. And they're going to build a building, a new construction, not the old gazebo. And it will have really a bar is the main thing. They are not going to serve food right away. You can set up chairs in the patio, but then they can collect the chairs and put them in this building that they're building as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So mostly it'll be outdoor service from this building. They might move on to pretzels or other things, but it won't be plumbed. They won't have running water. It'll be all things from Audubon taken out there. But compared to when it was a parking lot, this is going to
No
be,
kidding.
landscaped and
Yeah.
everything. It's going to look
Absolutely. Sit
very
outside
nice.
on
Yeah, I
like
noticed.
tonight, you
Yes.
know, the
Yeah.
nights that it's beautiful.
I noticed
outside.
they had a lot of, what's that, dirt or mulch dumped in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw
Yesterday.
those
There was a big
brown
pile, yeah.
pile of, I'm not sure what it was either. I saw it as I drove
I
by.
was wondering, okay, are they gonna plant bushes?
Yeah.
But they didn't dig it up, it's concrete
They've got,
under there.
Oh, I think
yeah,
they did.
I think they are going to,
Yeah.
if they haven't, because they have a dozen, at least, evergreens that are gonna go, maybe they're standing in pots.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's gonna be interesting, whatever they do.
Mhm, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's exciting. Oh, my gosh.
So, are we short on time here?
No,
No.
we got plenty of time.
They don't turn the lights off.
Nope.
You can tell them what you want to.
Maybe if they don't pay the bill.
They cut us off at 8:30 if we don't shut up by then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk fast.
So we have a lot of time.
So, the building that Chris is presently in, Music, Art, and Love, that she's going to transform that, the address is on Main Street. What's your address?
Right now,
Yeah.
199 North Main Street.
199.
And moving to 137 North Main Street. Literally from, well, they're both from Washington to Jefferson Street.
Right.
So it's on the same
You've got the whole
block.
Right. Which
The-
used to be the Purple Finch.
Yes.
Yes. 199, the corner building, right next to us on the Main Street end, was the building in 1993 that was purchased by your favorite doctor and her husband.
Absolutely, Dr. O'Donnell.
Dr. O'Donnell and her husband.
Oh,
and they
and her husband, yes,
purchased
Patrick.
that building, no, her first husband, Jack, and when they moved from Chicago to St. Genevieve in 1993,
Oh, okay, okay.
they bought
That's
that
right, that
building,
whole bit.
and he wanted to open an antique store.
Oh,
Isn't that
isn't
wild?
that interesting?
Oh, my God.
Now I'm starting back out of the way she talked me getting into it. I think she talked him into getting into it. She likes
She has her
her
way.
spouse to be in antiques. So the first floor of that building were all antiques, and he went to auctions and collected different things, and somebody really liked to do that. And they lived in an apartment upstairs for their first 3 years until they found their house. So she and Jack bought 3 or 4 buildings along Main Street that they really maintained or rehabbed, because he had a great interest in historic buildings, and that was part of what attracted them to St. Genevieve. Susan, in 1993, came down the back stairs of that apartment building, went over to the hospital, applied for a job, and the administrator at that time was Joe Moss.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
lots.
And she came in and sat down and said she'd like to apply for a job. He fell off his chair, got back up and everything. He had never had a physician come and ask to work there. He had always been chasing
Oh, my
them.
gosh.
First one he had ever had who came, "You really want to work here?" And then he was stammering because he had never interviewed a female physician. Dr. Susan O'Donnell was the first female physician on the medical staff of St. Genevieve Community Hospital, and she found that out when she got up at the first medical staff meeting in the doctor's lounge and went to the bathroom. It's a doctor's lounge. What are we talking about? 2 bathrooms, yeah.
Right, right.
So, yeah, she's been here for a lot of, 30 years later.
Yeah, I was
She
gonna say,
is
she's
still
been
here.
Yes.
Her Poor Jack passed away about 13 years ago. She got out of the antique business until she met me. Now she-
Oh, boy.
Back
Well, bigger and better, right? I don't mean that in a negative way, but bigger and.
Wasn't counting on this, I'll tell you.
So how many apartments on the side that you're at? How many apartments does she have down there?
Watch, she sold all the buildings except 188
Oh.
directly across, next to Stella's.
Okay, she's got that one.
That's her
Okay.
building, and she sold the other buildings along Main Street.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, she wasn't very good at being a landlord.
That takes talent, right? No.
Takes talent. She believed
So-
everybody when they said, you know, I lost my job and
yes.
I can't make the
Oh,
rent,
yes.
and she'd be, don't
Oh,
worry
yes.
about it, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
until, I remember, I knew a lady there, her daughters, I think, lived right up on top of where yours, well, as far as that goes, years ago, so, how far back? I'm trying to think, maybe in the
Who are you going
60s,
to,
maybe?
the Ross?
No, to the jug.
Oh, the
Oh,
jug.
the
I've
jug.
heard about the jug.
My mom and dad owned that.
Is that,
Oh, no kidding.
is that downstairs?
Downstairs.
Yeah, people talk, the old
The
people,
old,
when they come by, they're looking around, where's that door to the jug?
yeah, mhm.
Yeah.
And I remember the door over here, and then that, what was it, that double door, the wooden door that.
In the
is it
front,
still-
yeah.
Yeah, in the front. They had, I remember some people going, there was dances on that side. So I remember people going, you know, that's, back in those days, kids could go in there, not that we drank or anything, but, but we were
You
down
know,
there.
at the Main Street
Yeah, it's
Inn,
nice
the
down there.
building itself is 1880.
Really?
Yeah, so it's 142 years old. Opened as the Meijer Railway Hotel, serving people. The St. Genevieve Train Depot was right down
Which was
Washington
down, yes.
Street. And you get off the train, walk carrying your bag over. You didn't get hit by a horse and buggy going by. You'd come across the muddy street, come up into the Meijer Railway Hotel. In 1895, they added an addition to the building right on the corner. There, if you look, there's a little red door
Yes.
right there and all.
Yeah.
And that was a saloon owned by the Meyers.
Really?
And it stayed a saloon for 100 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and it had a number of different owners,
Right.
everything. But when Karen and Ken bought the Main Street Inn in 1990, Karen and Ken Colbert, that was a separate tavern known as Granny's.
Yes, Granny's.
Yeah.
And I knew the Colberts. They were-
And Karen and Ken were just one.
Yeah, they are.
Ken
yes.
just passed 3 months ago.
Did he really?
Mhm. He was almost 90.
Well, I knew, yeah,
Yeah.
I knew they were older, but I didn't realize that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
or-
They
but
were
they-
amazing people.
Where Sonny kept that building,
Uh-huh.
the antique mall building going, Karen and Ken saved the Main Street Inn.
Mm-hmm.
It really, they spent 3 years, top to bottom, down to the studs, all new
Everything.
toilets and bathtubs are going. It was a really aging, old, dying
Yeah.
hotel. They worked on it 3 years, put every dollar they had, it drained their retirement account, everything. They had it all brand new, open in March of 1993.
Oh,
And then came
Nice.
the flood.
And they closed in June of 1993. Town was evacuated. They went out, they lived in a motel outside of town, and every morning would wake up wondering, did the sandbag break? Did the water take over? They'd have been done.
Yes.
They couldn't have played,
No, oh, no.
yeah, nothing. Yeah. So they saved the building, and then eventually they bought out Granny, and then converted that into, we have it as rooms now.
Oh, so that's what's in there now?
Yeah, we have
Oh,
2
okay.
rooms. We
I didn't know
divided
that.
it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and the nice thing with that is street level, because the
Right.
rest of the inn has
'Cause-
these
oh,
12-foot
yes.
ceilings,
Oh,
as you
yes.
know, it's a long ways up there.
It is.
And when I get a guest and say, we'd like a room on the 3rd floor, I'm like, what's the matter with you? I don't want to walk up there. It's a long ways up
And
there.
wasn't that when she took me through, I'd go down there all the time. I was alderman at that time, and they were just amazing. I just
Karen and Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they told me to come over, and we went upstairs. Wasn't it was that the honeymoon room or
The suite
the suite? Yes,
where they lived.
yes, yes.
Yes.
that was,
I mean, that was their living room, bedroom, and
Right,
office.
right,
I mean, they
right.
really lived
they
there.
lived.
Yeah.
It was
That was their home.
beautiful. Oh,
Really
it
was their
beautiful.
home.
I mean, it was,
Did all
and
of
they
that.
really cared. Oh, they cared
You know,
about those
and they
people.
were, Karen was one of the originators of Fourth Friday Art Walk.
She was.
Oh, I didn't know.
On that, yeah, they were involved in the community.
So where did they move to? I can't remember.
So Ken always had a dream of retiring to Maine. Now, he'd never been to Maine, they didn't know anybody in Maine, but his dream was to retire to Maine and to get a house that looked at the ocean. So
Oh, my
they went out
gosh.
there and found out how much it costs to get a house that looks at the ocean. So they said, well, maybe this, maybe that, and everything. Eventually, they ended up with a house that if you went up to the second floor in one room and the leaves were off the tree, you could see the ocean.
You could see the, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they had a compromise, but they had good 10 years out there.
That's
Yeah, and
It was
then
really good.
Ken died peacefully at home with Karen right there with him, and she's decided she's going to stay in Maine.
Is she? God bless her. They were good people.
Truly.
I remember those. Remember the, I'm not sure, was it Hammocks? No. Who owned, on Main, I'm sorry, on St. Mary's Road, the one that sits real far back in the back, the bed and breakfast back there?
Down in St. Mary's?
No, here in town, on St. Mary's Road.
Oh, it's that way back,
Yes.
it's no longer a B&B.
Oh, it's not?
No,
The
hasn't
state
been.
owns it, don't they? Isn't it the state that owns it?
No,
Is that the
it-
one you're talking
No,
about?
it's like
No.
a conference center now.
Oh, I didn't know
where they
that.
I've gone to meetings in there where it's kind of
Okay.
empty
With the
space.
fireplace in the room? Is that the
Yeah.
building you're talking about?
Yeah.
I remember
Used
the
to be a
people-
swimming pool
The
over the
Art
side.
Guild had a
Show there.
Show there.
Sure.
Yeah,
We did have a show
Okay.
there.
yeah.
All right. I remember the people that built that.
I had the name a minute ago who it was, but I
Wasn't
forgot.
it Hammocks way back?
No, it wasn't.
Not
Hammocks.
Hammocks.
It was, I can't.
No.
remember.
She married, their daughter married a hammock. That's
Oh,
what it is.
okay.
That's what it is. I know, I just can't think of their name. Isn't that awful?
Hmm.
Get older, you're older enough.
It almost gets to the brain and then it runs away.
Right. Yeah.
I never
I
gets
can't
there
think of their
anymore.
names, But I met
That's since I
Ken
had
and
a
them.
stroke.
They were really good. Well, then let's see, the one that's across from, no, wait a minute, where am I at? Dr. Dietrich?
Hurtig.
What's his
Oh,
name?
Dr. Hurtig.
Dr.
Hurtig.
Hurtig House
Okay.
on Main Street.
Okay,
Mhm.
so right across from there, the
St. John?
In
St. Jim,
Jim.
yes, in
Mhm.
St. Jim.
No, that's a private house now, isn't it?
No,
No.
it's
Not
not.
anymore?
I
Oh, they
thought-
somebody else bought it?
Charles
Yeah.
Boyer.
Okay.
Jan and Kathy had it for 18 years, kind of parallel with Karen and Ken. And then they sold it, kind of interestingly, to a fellow and his girlfriend. And they lived there for 2 years, and they bought all the linens, they bought all the china, they did all of it. Never had one guest, never opened up anything.
That's what I thought. They
Just lived there, so that did become a private residence for that. He had hoped, we think, to kind of flip it. He did a little tune-up on different things and everything, but right when he was going to flip it, COVID came
Oh,
along.
my gosh.
And so going into a B&B business was not very
Not the
likely to
same.
have guests and everything. They were closing. We were closed for 6 months.
Yeah,
And so he sat out, then he sold it, they did eventually to Charles Boyer, who's updated it as well and has opened.
and now it's
Now it's open.
But that used to be apartments there.
It was a part of the Rozier Mansion when it
Wow.
first started.
Back in my days.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I was young. I can remember this, and then the one that's over by the old brick, the one that's down that
Southern
street.
Hotel.
Is that
Southern
still,
I don't think that's run, the way I understand it's closed.
So that closed in
Yeah, he closed
COVID,
it.
Oh,
and Mike,
They're still there, aren't they, Mike?
he and his wife are still there, and they have it for sale, and it went on for sale right, I think, in 2020. And they're still looking for
okay,
a
so
buyer
it's
for
not,
it.
okay, so
It's not in business, no.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, because that used to be apartments.
It was apartments, too. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful building and
Yes.
structures up there,
Yes.
yeah.
yes, I think we only have 2 bed and breakfasts then in town, right?
Yes, Airbnbs are what have really
Bed and
exploded.
breakfast, you're right, it's the Airbnb, yeah.
But there is a big difference, and I had somebody coming in from Cape Girardeau that he and his wife had a bed and breakfast, and he was asking how it was here, and he said, you know, somewhat of the Airbnb is kind of taking over. I said, but there's still people that love to have, it's almost more of a luxury thing of having the bed and breakfast. There's just something different about
And you
it.
meet so many nice people.
You do. There's
Now,
just
I don't know
something
about
different about
Airbnbs,
it.
because I'm not that familiar with them. I mean, I know about them, but your bed and breakfast, the people that owned it, didn't they do the breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, their
That's-
breakfast is incredible.
Oh.
I know so many people, and they're like, oh my gosh. I went over there one day just for coffee, and I ended up, you know, getting some other
Talk
items.
yourself into a free
I
breakfast.
talked my into a breakfast, yes. Oh my gosh, it's just so amazing. And that's the difference
Yes.
between that, and you get to meet
Yeah.
the owners.
Right, and those-
Different than an Airbnb,
Those
which, you know.
Airbnbs, now, they text you, you have the address, but then they, as you get near, you send in a thing that you're near. They text you the code that you use to open the door to go in. Nobody's there, you never see the landlord, you never see anybody, you get the room and all of it, you figure out breakfast and you figure out whatever. So it's, you truly rent the space, but there's no socialization or anything.
That's-
Yeah.
Although I do hope to change that, because once I do open up my bed and breakfast, or Airbnb, sorry. I don't want to do breakfast, sorry. I will leave that to the Main Street Inn. But I would like to at least
Yeah.
meet my people.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe do a,
Sure.
I always said like bed and happy hour. I will be there for our happy hour, I
Well,
won't
that'd
be
be
there
a
for
new
breakfast.
concept, bread and, bed and happy hour.
That's my
I-
thing.
this
A lot of people would like that.
And you might have to meet me down at Music Art Love for the happy
Hey, there
hour,
you
but
go.
we'll do it. You can
See?
stay there, you can come down for your free events, and then,
Mhm.
yes.
You know how,
I haven't seen this discussed, but I think at some point, the city council is sitting here at some day, that Airbnbs are rapidly going, apartments that used to be for rent for people who wanted to stay, but boom, there's more money in Airbnbs. Little houses that used to be enough for a
Right.
little family, boom, Airbnb.
Airbnbs.
So the availability of housing, both to rent or even buy, is changing because they can make more money renting it out on the weekend than you
Yeah.
do for the month of rent.
yeah, yeah.
That is very
There's
true.
there 45 or 47 of them in town?
Yeah, the last number I saw was
Oh,
40
really?
something.
Oh,
something.
my
Of the
gosh.
Airbnbs?
Airbnbs, yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
lands.
It's interesting, if they're in town and you're part of this Airbnb network, you pay taxes. You pay your lodging tax to the state, and then St. Genevieve gets a cut. You go to the county, no taxes.
No taxes,
That's
yeah.
great.
And they take all of our advertised St. Genevieve, come and visit St. Gen, come and so, yeah, they come down, they stay out in the county. They don't pay for their advertising.
Right, oh, my goodness.
And that's crazy, because you've got the wineries out there, I
Oh.
mean, they're
Yeah, they're
making.
living on that,
Oh,
absolutely.
yes. So, the winery though.
And there should be a county tax on
Mhm,
that.
there should be.
There probably is Missouri tax, it's just that they don't get the city lodging
City don't
tax.
get involved, yeah.
Yeah, they don't do it in the county. Speaking of wineries, did you read the USA Today? So USA Today, national newspaper, had contests of different kinds of things across the country. One of the categories was best winery restaurant in the United States. Napa Valley, Santa Barbara, California, Utah, Virginia, all big, big, big places. Who won, Iris?
Wasn't
It
Shaw-
was.
Chalmette.
Yeah, Chalmette.
Yes,
Right here in Little St. Genevieve County, USA.
Chalmette?
Chalmette.
yeah, Chalmette, yes.
They
Based
have
on
a-
their experts who came and reviewed and voter participation on it, Chalmette, best winery restaurant in the
Yes.
United
I
States.
saw that, I saw that.
And they have grown so much.
Mm.
They have, what, 40-something?
They have 25 townhouses, some of them are split, so they could have up to 40 people,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
families staying there. And his big thing is do the weddings, and
Yes.
then the
Right.
family stay out there.
And people that stay there because they don't want to drink and go on the
You wanna
cruise.
drive,
Right.
right,
Right.
exactly.
That's the best thing to do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
just-
Hank Johnson is, you think back to 1995, he's standing there with his first grape harvest, 95, 25 years later, he's got townhouses, a spa,
Yeah.
great, beautiful development. You see
People
this-
asked for it, so we did it.
Yeah.
Isn't that what was in that article?
Yeah,
Yeah, something about they asked
yeah,
for it.
really
and
did a
it.
beautiful setting.
We stayed out there one night.
We've taken guests out there and to sit there for dinner on the patio on his porch, watch the sun go down over those rolling hills. People from Chicago and California come out and say, my God, this is prettier than anything
Oh, that they
they've
have,
seen
or
even
that
in
they've
Napa
seen.
Valley. And then
Right.
that chef and the food is like, wowzer.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, we had a wedding out there, my grandson, they had their wedding there.
Mm.
The food was at night, and then we had breakfast also.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Both of them were amazing.
We've ate that.
Oh, this
Totally
is like one of the
amazing.
reasons why I
The
came to
best
St.
fried
Genevieve
potatoes.
was the great wineries that are out
Mhm.
there, just the land, and
Mhm.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is Missouri. And I used to travel for a living, and
Mhm.
this could be like in a French countryside.
That's what I said.
But you're here in Missouri, and it's
You
amazing.
know, we have friends from Chicago, and you drive Chicago to St. Louis, you don't see a hill the whole way, it's just flat, flat,
Right,
flat. You get
right.
St. Louis a little bit, and then they get into St. John, and they start going up like, it's like kind of transport yourself
Right.
into a whole different, yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
said when we went to France. This is so, I can see why they settled in St.
Yes,
Genevieve.
why they would.
And the same thing with the Germans.
Yeah.
Yep,
Their
exactly.
countryside looks
Exactly.
exactly like ours. I've got pictures that I took over there when we were looking for relatives out in the country, and you could swear it was St. John.
Really.
Really, really amazing how the landscapes are the same.
Oh,
I'm not used to hills. More than flat country, Illinois.
Flat country, Illinois, yeah. Prairie state,
It's flat.
yeah.
I was born in Nashville, Illinois, and it's flat for miles around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
There was no
So
hills.
Chris, what brought you to St. Genevieve? That's a question that I
Oh.
don't think was ever asked, or I never knew.
Right, so I'm originally from South City, St. Louis, and then I was flying with the airlines for 31 years with American Airlines, and
So
I
you
was,
were a hostess?
yes,
Right.
stewardess, flight
Flight
attendant.
attendant,
Flight attendant.
hostess is
Well,
out, no more.
Us older girls like to have stewardess because it sounds more glamorous.
Well,
We fought it for so many years, and now we went back to
Right.
like, let's be stewardess again. So yes, I was in Florida for about 30 years, flying with the airlines, and then once my son got into college, I thought, well, I'd like to get closer to family back in St. Louis, my family and friends, but I wanted a small town, and like I said, like the scenery of St. John, the hiking, the wineries, the downtown. This is such a lovely town. And so I moved, and I was still flying with the airlines, and then COVID happened. I thought, that's a great time to open a business. Where you have events, and, people are touching, and, what a great time. And then at the same time, though, American Airlines offered the early out package because their flights, they just couldn't carry. So it was a perfect storm in some ways of, okay, I'm going to take that leap of faith and retire early from the airlines and just commit everything to this gallery, and eventually things will open up. And it did. And I have wonderful neighbors like Patrick that have helped me, and just other people in the community that have just welcomed me. And I couldn't say thank you enough to everybody here. Iris has been such a great patron of the arts, and it's just different. It's just a different feel. And actually the building that I'm living in now, the 199, I'm just renting, but that drew me here too. I just love the historic buildings, and so now to actually buy a building here, after 2 years of being here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm now one of those people. I have property here, like historic property. And it means a lot to me, and I think the timing was right, even though I wanted to originally buy the building that I'm in at 199.
right.
Having 137, and just now that I know more people, and everybody's just kind of rallying around helping me with that, and I think that's just a lovely
Oh, it is.
sentiment to me of having it just all kind of come full circle, like, this is home, I'm building something, I'm hoping other people enjoy what I'm trying to build and be a part of the community and bring people from St. Louis, bring people from Cape Girardeau, bring people from, which I went to school in SEMO. So it's just been that great meeting point, and even people from that I knew from Florida come here to visit. In fact, Patrick had some of my friends come from Florida that they wanted to see my gallery, and they stayed at the Main Street Inn, and it's just been a really lovely time. I can't say enough about St. Genevieve. And then, of course, we were in the musical. I was in the musical that Kristen Chibity, she's a local, she's the president of the Theater Guild, and she wrote and directed the Audubon play called Hope is a Shy Bird. And I like to do every kind of the arts, visual, musical, and acting, so I weaseled my way into getting a spot into there.
What role did you play?
We don't need to talk about that.
The lady of the night.
Yeah.
She's typecast.
I'm very
She
much
can never get
typecast.
another
That's like
kind
the
of-
third time I've played that kind of a role. I don't know why.
Because you're good, right? That's your calling.
Yes, that's my
That's your
calling in
calling,
life. But anyway, Kristen has been a wonderful asset to here, and so we're looking for a place to have theater, to have more live theater. So we're trying to get our feelers out of where we can have stage productions.
I don't see why PAC doesn't, we're paying for that with our taxes.
Yeah.
It should be available.
Where?
St. John, PAC.
Well, have you asked them?
Oh,
That's what
yes,
it's
and I
for.
think it was just with the timing with other
Oh.
things that they have going on.
Going
Yeah,
I think that's
it has to
hard
be,
part.
I mean, it's for school first,
Right.
and then it's for the, absolutely.
Community.
But it'd be nice to have our
Oh.
own, so if anybody's listening,
Right.
I think there are some things in the making, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say,
Right.
but we
But
do
you
need a
love it.
theater, we need live theater here.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Absolutely.
So I can do what I can in my little space. And like I said, we've had Kristen has done improv classes at my gallery, and it's just been fun.
And
She's very talented.
She's
That whole
very
family is.
talented. And
Everybody
the
is.
Auras has let us use their place too
Yeah.
for the Christmas showcase.
Yeah, that would be, but just to have that, and then, there's got to be a lot of, I think once the kids would see that, it could be adults too, but I mean, they could put on plays, younger kids, even younger kids could get involved.
Mhm.
And that would be something, kids that aren't in sports.
Right.
This would be
There's a-
perfect for them.
There's a lot of them that are very good at it.
Oh,
At St.
yes.
John and Valley, the kids.
Yes.
Their
We had
school
some
plays are
wonderful
always
actors
great.
in that production. I mean, some of those were just top notch.
And
The
the high-
Nagers and, Patty and Bill and Millie Nager, they were in
yeah.
it, and
Mhm.
They're just talented
Sure.
people. Yeah.
Brad, yeah.
That's it. I love that.
You're gonna ask me how I got here?
Yeah. When she's finished, how'd you get here?
I'm finished.
No, I'm
Patrick
just
can
joking.
talk.
I'm just joking. We were gonna get to you. Yeah, 'cause I wanna-
It always comes back
I'm
to
just,
Patrick.
see, this is the good part. We get to ask some questions, so,
You do.
yeah.
Yeah, ask him some
And I
tough
know,
questions.
see, I wanna know.
Ask him some really tough ones.
So,
Who's your favorite neighbor?
That's
No
a
doubt
loaded
about it.
question.
Oh, I
doubt about
know.
it.
Yeah, no doubt.
so I first met Susan O'Donnell in 1981. Imagine that, 41 years ago. She was done her training in Ireland and came and was doing her internship and residency in Chicago. And then she came to Loyola, where I was on the faculty, and to study pulmonary disease.
Oh.
And I couldn't understand her. I didn't think she spoke English.
Really?
Girls were like, would you repeat that, please?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. She had a road. Yep, she's lost it over the years. And then she met Jack and stayed in Chicago. And the next thing I heard, she was moving to some little town in the middle of nowhere. And I thought I'd never see her, but we would bump into each other at meetings and eventually, and then poor Jack died and I was single and we reconnected. We're going up and down I-55 back and forth and everything, and the understanding, Iris, was that when we got married, she would move to Chicago. So we got,
See how that worked
we
out.
got married. How'd that work out?
And so now you're in.
Now he's got a St. Paul, Main Street Inn.
So then she didn't know what she was gonna do with me down here, retired and nothing to do, so she talked me into buying the inn over there with her, saying I would just have to do a little coffee in the morning and wine in the evening and nothing in between.
Just do a little bit here and there.
You'll love it. That was 6 years ago, so, yeah,
Everybody
Worked out
winds
well.
up where they're supposed to be.
you are
Yes,
exactly right. This is, for me,
absolutely.
it's been kind of my retirement. I'm busier
Right.
than I was when I
Oh, I was
was.
gonna say, I bet
yeah,
you're,
yeah.
well, especially now with, well, not only the building, or the inn, you still have, you have the
Yeah.
new,
The antique.
Yeah,
Antique mall, yes.
Yeah, so,
that's exciting. When I heard that that was gonna be an antique mall, I thought that was really neat. And I thought, what a better place. I really thought it, at first I thought, oh my gosh. No, I was excited that it was gonna be one.
Yeah.
Let me start off there. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what are they gonna do? Well, I guess it could be looking like the one in St. Mary's. You know, not
Yeah.
that it was bad, but it was
Kind
just,
of a
you know,
warehouse,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
old building.
And that's kind of, because I knew Sonny, and that's all he ever talked about, and would tell me different things about it, and it just being the building, and, but when I heard it was actually gonna be that, I thought, I could not wait to,
It's very upscale.
Yes.
It's very nice. It's
Yes.
very welcoming, but it's, I don't know, it's very elegant.
right, right. And that's exciting. I'm excited, because I think it's just gonna bring light to the downtown area. You know, and-
Front Street for sure.
Front
oh my
Street.
gosh, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But it's.
You'll have to talk Sam into decorating her building down there.
You talk Sam into it. You're right.
So who owns okay, Stella and me, you own that side?
Yeah, next to her
Okay, so you own like that, is that
apartment building, yeah, 3 apartments.
Okay, because I remember when they didn't look like that.
Yeah,
And,
Karen and Ken and Susan and Jack fixed that building up.
okay, I was wondering who did all that, because it looks nice, really looks nice. But it's just neat that you know, and it's a shame. I have grandkids, I had kids and I had grandkids, and it's like, I'm always busy with them, you know, and never taking time, and my daughter came home at Christmas and said, let's be tourists, let's walk
That's
downtown.
so fun.
They were so excited, you know, it was just things that they didn't, you know, my daughter lived here, went to school here, graduated, left here, but it was just, and then her coming and seeing all this stuff, it's, oh my gosh, you know, it's completely changed, but.
I have
To the
yet to do
better.
all the tourist, the historic houses. I still have. I know, I've been busy. It just seems like every time that, you know, I'm open and then I try to do things on days off and then you're just
Right,
rushing
then you
around.
just, right,
Yeah, but it does take other people to come into town and you're just like, oh, let's go.
Right.
tourist.
but it's just,
And if it wouldn't have been for the Dunsies,
yeah,
hard telling how many houses would be left.
that's true. But it's just, I mean, the whole town is just, if you really actually walk and see all the new stuff. I talked to a few people that live here and didn't know that some of the stuff was down, and I said, be a tourist, go down there and see what they have. You know, it's just fun, it's just really fun to see what it,
But the 50s had it beat, because there were grocery stores and taverns.
dime
and
store.
Clothing stores and dime
Manufacturing.
stores and shoe
Grocers.
stores
yeah,
and
There was a lot of things.
everything. I mean, we had nothing to go out of town for.
that's true, We had Rogers, that was,
But
that
one of the
was,
best things it did was not go the big box route and end up with the retail outside of town. Everybody leaves and you go into town. I think like Farmington, you go downtown, it's like, what
Nothing.
happened?
Right.
Nobody's
Yes.
down there, whereas we've maintained
We-
this historic
yes.
core.
Yes.
Keep
And
it.
that over the years is going to pay its
Oh, yeah.
dividends of this
Right.
outside money coming
Right.
in.
And if nobody gets enough ground to build a mall,
Right. Keep them all, keep it.
You know, I think the malls are past now.
I think
really
we have
do.
too small of a population to do it.
Yeah.
Perryville and, anyway, that's it.
they can draw from more town,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
That's
if
true.
we're
Like our
against the
grandpa's.
river.
The grandpa's was probably one of the biggest.
That was a big
Was
one.
one of the best things we had. It's sad that it had to leave, but, wow.
Well,
this-
ladies.
Oh my gosh, do I ever feel like I learned a lot tonight?
Yeah,
We learned
it's
by
down
one
at Main
street.
Street.
I did. Of course, I know her, so.
And she has some kind of power over men that she makes them do things that they wouldn't want to do, I guess. But
Right.
see, aren't you happy now?
Mhm.
Life is
No,
so much
she's
more
right, like
easy.
always. She's
Yeah.
right.
She's
What was it
very
like being here? Really?
Well, we're so happy that
Enjoyed-
both of you came.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And anybody out there, if you have any questions, you could call in right now, but if not, you need to come down here and see this.
Yep, come into
The
come
mall,
into
come and see the new
downtown,
music
yeah,
art
and
lot.
go to the
Yeah,
mall.
Music, art, and
And then the Oktoberfest is this weekend.
Is this
so don't
weekend?
forget to come
Yes.
to town for
They have
that.
vendors and
Music,
bands, music,
food,
food,
German
German
contest.
food, yes, I saw that. And then they have a wiener dog race.
Wiener dogs.
A wiener dog race. that
Wiener
ought
dog
to be
races, I knew
interesting.
that would be fun,
Yeah.
but it's, and
Yeah.
then I think it's gonna be warm, but I still think it's gonna be
Oh, I
nice.
think it'd be perfect.
I'd rather-
Humidity's gone and.
Right,
it's
I'd
gonna be
much
nice.
rather it be warm
Yeah,
like this than rain,
Right.
so I think that's gonna be exciting, we got.
Well, thanks, ladies.
All right,
Well,
thank
thank
you
you
so
for coming
much, it
again.
was awesome, it was awesome.
Thank
So
you.
we just
Thank you.
wave goodbye to our audience. Okay,
Bye,
Charlie,
everyone.
we're
Bye,
ready.
Charlie.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.